Jenna and Danny had always shared a love for music, though their tastes didn't typically align. Jenna, a vibrant 32-year-old with warm brown skin, stood just over 5 feet tall. Her curly black hair framed her round face, and she often favored comfortable, colorful dresses paired with chunky sandals. Danny, in contrast, was a tall and lean 34-year-old black man with a bald head and a meticulously groomed beard. He had a thoughtful demeanor and a preference for minimalist attire, typically wearing fitted black t-shirts and dark jeans. Their tradition of attending the band Lost in Time's concerts had become a cherished escape from the grind of everyday life. It all started back in college when they met at one of the band's concerts, an unlikely encounter since neither of them was particularly into the music. They had only attended to tag along with friends, yet amidst the pulsing lights and unfamiliar tunes, they found each other, and the rest was history. Now, 10 years later, Jenna and Danny were on their way to another Lost in Time concert, this time held in a remote venue deep in the woods of Vermont. Danny drove the rental car, while Jenna hummed along to the band's latest album. Excitement mingled with a strange unease in the air. When they arrived at the venue, an eerie surprise awaited them. Their old college friends, whom they hadn't seen in a decade, were there too. Marcus, Danny's boisterous best friend, was a towering man with a broad chest and an infectious laugh. He wore a faded band t-shirt and cargo shorts, looking as though he had just come from a backyard barbecue. His wife Vanessa was sharp-witted and stylish, her curly hair framing her face as she sported a sleek black dress paired with leather boots. Jenna's close friends were the gentle-hearted Lily, a petite woman with curly auburn hair who favored floral blouses and jeans, and the vivacious Carmela, whose vibrant personality matched her bold choice of a red jumpsuit and gold hoop earrings. Their appearance hadn't changed much from college, though time had added a few lines and softened some edges. The reunion was joyful, yet tinged with disbelief. They had all drifted apart over the years, and seeing each other again felt surreal. "What are the odds?" Marcus laughed, slapping Danny on the back. "Maybe our taste in music is just that bad." Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Actually, it's because this is an exclusive event. Lost in Time is opening for a mysterious new band called Siren's Call. They're supposed to be incredible." Lily, who worked as a music talent agent, nodded enthusiastically. "Getting Siren's Call to perform is nearly impossible. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." Despite their friends' excitement, Jenna and Danny couldn't shake a nagging sense of unease. Too many coincidences, too many unexpected surprises. The concert venue was surprisingly intimate, with only a few hundred people in attendance. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Lost in Time delivered a high-energy performance, but when they left the stage, the crowd hushed in eerie expectation. Then, without warning, a man stepped onto the stage. His face was painted like a grinning skull, and he wore a long black trench coat that billowed around him like shadows come to life. There was no band behind him, just an oppressive silence. A chilling melody began to play, as if the very air had been plucked like strings on a ghostly harp. The man's voice was hypnotic, dark, and devious, threading its way into the minds of the audience.
Come closer, dear, the night is near. Let shadows wrap you, let them steer. I see your heart, I taste your fear. Surrender now, the end is clear. Doom's a lullaby, sweet and slow.
The song was short but unforgettable, a haunting lullaby that seemed to twist reality. When the final note faded, the man let out a sinister smile and walked off stage without a word. The crowd stood frozen, mesmerized, and uneasy. Jenna clutched Danny's hand tightly. "Let's go," she whispered. People began to trickle out, their faces pale and eyes glazed. No one died that first night, but an ominous tension lingered. Back at the cabin they had rented, Jenna and Danny sat with their friends, trying to shake off the unsettling experience. The journey home was filled with an eerie silence. Jenna sat curled up in the passenger seat, arms wrapped around herself as she stared out the window at the endless stretch of dark road. The once lively car rides filled with laughter and nostalgic stories were now replaced with a thick tension neither she nor Danny could shake. Danny gripped the wheel tightly, his knuckles white. "I still can't shake that song," he muttered, breaking the silence. Jenna shuddered. "Me neither. It's like it's stuck in my head, but not like a normal song." Danny shot her a quick glance. "You hear it now?" She hesitated before shaking her head. "Not exactly, but I feel it, like a whisper at the edge of my mind." The car's headlights cut through the fog that had started to roll in, thick and suffocating. The road ahead felt endless, as if they were driving into some abyss with no way out. "Maybe it's just the exhaustion," Danny suggested, though his voice lacked conviction. "Late night, weird concert, it's messing with our heads." Jenna wanted to believe that, but deep down, she knew better. As they pulled up to their hotel, a deep unease settled over them. The night was too quiet, the air too still. That was the last peaceful moment they would have. By morning, the first tragedy struck. Carmela was found dead in her hotel room. The official cause? A sudden heart attack. But Jenna knew better. There was something unnatural about the way her body was found. Eyes wide open, lips slightly parted as if she had been whispering something with her final breath. No one wanted to acknowledge the possibility that the concert had something to do with it. They rationalized, clung to logic, but deep down, they all felt it. The same dreadful sense of foreboding that had settled in their chests since they heard that song. And then, one by one, the others began to hear it again. The morning light was weak, barely breaking through the thick gray clouds that loomed over the small town. The motel where Jenna and Danny were staying felt colder than before, the walls seeming to close in, whispering secrets neither of them wanted to hear. Danny sat at the edge of the bed, rubbing his temples, trying to shake the lingering hum of the cursed melody from his mind. Jenna stood by the window, arms wrapped around herself, staring blankly outside as though she expected to see something, some shadowy figure watching from the tree line. Then their phones buzzed. Jenna hesitated before checking the message, her stomach knotting with dread. "Marcus, Lily is dead." A sharp gasp escaped Jenna's lips. Danny immediately stood, his eyes locked onto hers. "What?" Her hands trembled as she clicked on the message. "Marcus. Found in her room this morning. No sign of struggle. She was smiling." The words sat heavy in the air, unnatural in their simplicity. Jenna's mind reeled, her breath coming in shallow gasps. Danny clenched his jaw. "This isn't normal." Jenna barely heard him. Her fingers had gone cold, her grip on the phone loosening. Lily. Gentle, kind Lily. Always the voice of reason, the one who saw the beauty in everything. Now she was just gone. Danny's phone vibrated. Another message from Marcus. "Marcus. She said she heard the song last night. She told Vanessa before bed." Jenna's heart stopped. The song, the same one that had haunted them since the concert, the same one Carmela must have heard before she died. Danny exhaled sharply. "Carmela, now Lily." Jenna turned, her eyes wide with realization. "It's the song, Danny. It's doing something to us." Danny's jaw tightened, his mind racing. "We need to find out what the hell is going on before we're next." Their nightmare was far from over. Jenna and Danny sat in stunned silence, the weight of Lily's death pressing down on them like a suffocating fog. Two friends gone in less than 24 hours, both with no signs of struggle, both with that same eerie, unnatural smile. "This isn't just a coincidence," Danny muttered, pacing the length of their hotel room. "We need to find out what's happening before we end up like them." Jenna rubbed her arms, trying to shake off the lingering chill that had settled in her bones. "We need answers, and the only connection we have is Siren's call." Danny stopped pacing, his eyes dark with resolve. Then we find them. The first step was reaching out to Vanessa and Marcus, the only other two still alive from their group. A few frantic phone calls later, they agreed to meet in a nearby diner, away from the stifling confines of their rooms. The diner was nearly empty, the hum of a neon sign flickering above them. Vanessa's hands trembled around her coffee cup, her usual sharp wit dulled by exhaustion and fear. "It's the song," she whispered, glancing around as if the walls themselves might be listening. "I heard it last night, right before I fell asleep." Jenna's stomach twisted. "You heard it too?" Marcus exhaled sharply. "So did I. It was faint, but it was there." Danny leaned in, voice low. "That means we're all on borrowed time." A heavy silence settled over them. The only way to break it was to act. Jenna set her jaw. "We need to find Siren's call and make them explain." Vanessa hesitated. "If they even know what's happening." Danny met her gaze. "They do. I guarantee it." It wasn't just the song haunting them. It was the way the band had remained shrouded in secrecy, the way they had slipped away unnoticed after the concert. There was something unnatural about them, something dangerous. With nowhere else to turn, they began their search. It started with the venue, combing through every piece of information they could find. The band had no official website, no social media presence, and no listed tour dates. It was as if they didn't exist outside of whispers and rumors. But finally, after hours of digging, they found a lead, a name buried in an old music forum: Donovan Riker, a former band manager who had worked briefly with Siren's Call, someone who had walked away before they became an enigma. It was a slim lead, but it was all they had. "We find Donovan," Danny said, "and we make him talk." Jenna nodded. There was no turning back now. Whatever nightmare they had stumbled into, they had to see it through. Before the song came for them next,